the chain was for artists or people.
Anybody, yeah, artistically involved, creatively involved with the reasonable doubt. And
Right.
it turned into like a circus. and there's a story behind that where I almost didn't get it after I actually wanted it.
Why is that?
Because I called Lenny S, and I was like, yo, I heard about this Roc-A-Fella piece. And he was like, you ain't get yours yet? I was like, nah. I was like, I'm gonna be truthful. I said, I ain't even want it till somebody told me about it. I said, but now I want it. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna call, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. So I wait a week. I call him back. I was like, yo, ain't nobody called me about nothing. And he was like, they messing up. Let me call this, that, and the other. You know, still nothing. So it was almost like a month. Cause I'm like, I ain't gonna keep calling this man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like out of respect for myself more than anybody else. And so I called him one last time and I was like, yo, man, I ain't get it. And he was like, yo, I ain't talking to nobody, nothing. I was like, what's going on? Then he told me a story about, he's like, Jay came up to Roc Nation and there were like 3 or 4 of them in the safe and he took them out. Because I guess he had an inclination that people were misusing their privileges and just hand them out, here, I know you, here. So he took them out. And so what happened was I told Jay about it, and then Lenny said that he was gonna tell him too. So what happened was me and Jay communicated via email, and he asked for my address. So he sent it to me himself. It's probably the only way I was gonna get it.
Wow.
Right.
But okay, so let's rewind time a little bit, because you still wear it to this day. Mm-hmm. It has to have some sort of sentimental value, being that you saw this man from at a young point, at a the time in his life where he was still developing who he was. Mm-hmm. You were a big part of his exposure to hip hop, being that you got a deal and you took him to London. And at what point did you start to see the shift where he started to come into his own?
When he started making business decisions as far as like incorporating Damon into his business, if you will. Just basically setting up shop as far as like his legal team and things of that nature. His rapport with people at Def Jam, namely Lior, so that's kind of when I saw it. And, he seized the opportunity because before Roc-A-Fella or Jay or Dame was doing anything up at Def Jam, Irv Gotti was up there with this little, the school desk. It got the thing come out like that. He had a little school desk in front of somebody's office. And he said Leo let him, stay up there and, use the phone and shit like that. Cause, Irv, if he can't do nothing else, he could talk. So he talked his way into basically, being able to be at that spot like that. And then sometimes they would move that little desk and he would get upset, like he ain't got a place there no more.
You're being literal.
Yeah.
Like he literally had a school desk.
Yeah.
Sitting outside of Leo Cohen's office.
I don't know if it was Leo's office, but it was somebody's office. Somebody's office. He was right there.
Wow.
Dead ass.
Wow.
I
Humble
don't,
beginnings.
yeah, but I don't know. See, my thing, I don't know why niggas don't talk about that. You know, you want to talk about your high and mighty shit,
About the
but
process.
your high and mighty shit, yeah, is
Because
no,
that's not
Right.
the
There's a
sexy
road.
part.
There's a road to that.
exactly,
They only want to talk about the highlights.
exactly.
You couldn't show Irv Gotti's dedication, the fact that he was, because somebody's gonna sit out there. Yo, I wouldn't play myself sitting out there. I ain't trying to play myself sitting in this little
Yeah,
desk.
but if sitting
Right.
outside that office and that little desk led to the success that they
Multi-million
is
dollar
today.
Not
company.
only
then
that,
why
a DJ
that
too.
played a part.
Yeah.
One, there's no guarantee that that's gonna happen. You're right though.
No,
There's
in
guarantee.
his case,
And but I'm just talking about the person who's watching. People want to show the end result because they feel like that's the inspiration. But it's really give and take. If I'm inspiring somebody who's like at their lowest point or at the bottom, and I'm showing them heights, that may not do it. If I show them, this is what my day one looked like. This is what the mud looked like. When I say I got it out the mud, here's what it looked like. I was in a little desk, this multi-million-dollar company sitting outside of somebody else's shit, trying to get my shit off at this little school desk. This is what the bottom.
Yeah.
Somebody else may get inspired by that, but we're so mesmerized by the glitz. Most people don't want to see the struggle. They just want to see the end result.
True story.
yeah, but nothing happens overnight.
Right.
Ever.
And then there's the ego.
Yes.
The ego.
It's the ego. Nobody wants to be seen as a humble, you know, like you said, you know, getting it out the mud, so on and so forth, because that's been programmed into us that is not a desirable look. You know what I'm saying?
So tell us more about this little school desk that Irv Gotti.
That's all I know about it. And he was at it, and he would go into offices and use the phone, and he obviously utilized it properly because as far as everything that I've heard, like he was the one that really connected, you know, Jay and Dame with Def Jam and kind of begat that whole relationship that, you know, created the distribution.
Right.
Did you want to be a part of that structure when you saw Jay setting up shop with Biggs and Dame? Did you want to be involved in
I
that?
mean, of course he did.
Nah,
Of
I
course he
didn't.
did. No, I'm sorry. Did you not produce Ain't No Nigga?
Yeah, but I was that's where I wanted to be, yes. But I didn't want to be, I saw it as like I don't go places where I'm not invited. You know what I'm saying? So if you saying that this is my lane and you come at me when, or you know what I'm saying, you contact me when something like this is going on, then I'll play that lane because I'm good with that. But if somebody outside of that say like, yo, you need to present yourself this way so that you can do that, I don't choose that because I'm not invited. That means I'll be somewhere where I'm not wanted. You know what I'm saying? Or they feel that I'm not. And the funny part about it is they know knowledge-wise that I was equipped more than everybody else besides, you know, whatever else they do or did to go on in business to create new avenues and to create revenue and creatively just originate some other shit.
Right.
They knew that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even say knew. They know that. But, you know, and I mean it's human nature. Like a lot of times people want things for themselves. We all want shit for ourselves. So I understood. And a lot of times when Jay thought I was being standoffish and stuff like that, I was like, nah, like, nigga, I was just not letting you, but I was making sure on my part that you breathe because nobody else is gonna do it as far as I'm looking. Nobody else is gonna let you breathe. They're gonna wanna be a part of what you're doing for their benefit,
Right.
not to boost you up. So I just backed off, and I was like, yo, when I'm around, I'm around. When I'm not, I'm not. Don't think I'm just twiddling my thumbs and shit like that when I'm not, though.
But what did it get in? Was that interpreted as you kind of like
not like I'm not with niggas?
Yeah.
It could have, but that wasn't my problem. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing was, I felt like, and I seriously feel like this. I felt like niggas was supposed to embrace me and be like, you know, not like exalt me or anything, but they were supposed to embrace me and not involve me as far as like, okay, when we find something creative that we can't do, we're gonna call you outside of that, go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I kind of felt. But I didn't take offense to it. I'm just like, shit, people have their own reasons for doing whatever they doing. You know, and then I'm saying this, and then they might have had totally different feelings, but that's how I took it. But I didn't take offense to it. I just said like, yo, you know, this ain't my lane. This is not why I got into this from the beginning. You know, I mean, I ain't crazy. You know, if money is laying on the table and they saying I can get it, I'm gonna go after it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be hanging around somewhere I'm not invited.